Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. At long last, I am going to be sharing with you guys how I pick the colors I do when I'm working with my sketchbook. I do try to use somewhat of a limited palette, but I'm excited to test out these new Woomer color pencils that I was gifted. I'm really excited because I'm actually also going to be doing a giveaway that I'll talk a little bit more later on in the video about with another set of these color pencils. But for now, let's go ahead and talk just a smidge of color theory before we get into why I make my choices the way I do. Now, when it comes to color theory, you're usually either talking about the different types of palettes you can be using with color, or you're talking about the characteristics of a specific color. And by that I mean like the hues, the saturation, the values, just whatever it takes to make up a certain color. Like there are light purples and then there are dark purples. But really you would say that hue of purple has a darker value and a higher saturation. I'm not here to break down color like that for you because, I don't know, I don't think of color that way. But I am here to break down the easiest ways to pick the best colors for your art the first time, every time, in comparison to having to do this trial and error thing where you accidentally make brown or you're unhappy with your piece, because nothing sucks more than picking a bunch of colors and then regretting all the colors you picked. So my biggest tip here, come closer, it's gonna be values. Okay, I don't know if anyone, wow, okay, hold on. That felt bad after I did it. At first I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun. We're gonna whisper. It's gonna be a nice little conversation between just me and you. And then I felt immediately creepy upon doing it. So let's go back. Values. Values is a super integral part of my art journey, and it really changed things up for me, and it's gonna change things up for you. So let me explain exactly how to use them. So first of all, what is a value? What are values? So in art, the value of a color is just how light or dark that color is. And it's usually like visualized on this gradient chart or this gradient scale of black or white. So you might have that on your iPad, or just imagine what a grayscale looks like, or look on screen as I have placed it right here for you. But yeah, we're gonna be using the lightness and darkness of colors to create an art piece instead of just thinking about things as the color we want to use or not use, if that makes sense. If it doesn't, I'll break it down to you. Give me just a second. Now, if you're just starting out and you don't know what I'm talking about, I would say that the best tip I could give you right now to start off when you're trying to figure out the values of colors is to use your phone, take a picture of whatever reference you're using, and then put that image in black and white. And that is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about values. You can see that different images have very dark spots that are very dark black versus the light spots that are practically white. And then when you look at the colors on your own, like, I don't know, like sheet that you have, what is it called? Why can't I think of what it's called? Swatch sheet. Okay. As the swatch sheet is behind me in this drawing, you can take a picture of your swatch sheet as well and put that in black and white so that you can understand the values of the colors that you currently have in your, I don't know, craft closet, drawer, wherever you keep your utensils, whatever you're looking at right now. You can figure out what the values of them are without having to make guesses. Now from here, I will say that the actual color theories do come into play when it comes to choosing your colors. Do you want to use something that's on the warmer side of the color palette? Do you want to use analogous colors? Do you want to use complementary colors? Those decisions kind of do play a role in your choice of colors, but what I'll say to you right now as you're beginning is just kind of try a bunch of things. Decide what colors you like. Do you like warmer colors? Do you like cooler colors? Just play around with everything. But your goal is to simply match the color value to the reference you're looking at. There are no other rules that you need to play by for the most part. Use dark colors where dark colors are needed and light colors where light colors are needed. But grow and have fun with it. Don't just, keep it all to blues. As you can see, looking at the little right corner where all my color pencils have started to really stack up as I've added more and more, I don't just have one specific value of color. Like, there are at least 3 purples and blues that are very similar in value here. If you're looking at all the oranges, they're very similar in value here. It's just being able to have three main colors: your light, your medium, and your darkest color, except not having that all in one hue family, not having it all be purples, unless monotone is what you're looking to do, which is totally fine also. But with color pencils, I would say my best tip is to just build up on this color slowly. Start with the lights, build your way to the darks, and use the values that you have in front of you instead of just like kind of forcing yourself. Let me not say forcing yourself. What am I trying to say here? Okay, quick pause. Sorry, I'm back. My dog was looking a little bit mischievous from the corner she was in, and upon going to investigate the situation, she was in fact doing nothing. But I don't know. Mom knows, and those were some mischievous eyes, so I'm keeping a lookout. Anyways, let's talk about how I actually select my colors within that little value family that I have. So like I mentioned, when you're looking at any picture or reference in a grayscale, you can see where you have that white, medium gray, like high dark gray, I don't know, medium gray. What am I saying here? Okay. Let's rewind. So you have that white, the light gray, the medium gray, the dark gray, and then that black color, right? So you're working with about 5 different valued colors. So I always, no matter what, am working with at least 5 different colors whenever I'm trying to kind of play with my color in my art. Now from there, I do usually add on by trying to have at least 2 different versions of every value. So realistically, I usually have at least like 9 or 10 actual different colors depending. I think for my lightest valued colors, I had the light blue and the light yellow. I had some pinks and oranges that matched up in values. And this magenta color that I'm using right now, honestly, to me, it's irreplaceable. I use it for anything and everything as a nice little medium color. So go ahead and find your favorites as well, and be sure to implement those whenever and wherever you can. Now, the next tip I'll give you for leveraging the different values of colors and how to use them best is to build up that color. So here I always start with the darkest colors and the darkest values because I find it easier to pick out when I'm drawing. But from there, I do build up on the color. My first layer is never my last layer ever. So just start with the same values and add another layer of it in a different color. Then add another layer of that in a different color, and just kind of build until you see what you like. Now with color pencils, it's great because you could always just erase a little bit, either use a kneadable eraser or electronic eraser to kind of cut through the color and restart. It's not the same exactly as with painting. That's a little bit more complicated, but that's why I enjoy kind of playing around with color a lot more when it comes to my actual sketchbook renderings in comparison to the different acrylics and gouaches, illustrations that I create. Geez, I'm having a lot of issues with some brain farts today. I don't know, I gotta get some vitamins in my system, something. But yeah, just keep playing with color, build up on color until you're happy with where you're at. And it's always okay to be able to change things up and to go back and to kind of just tidy things out and reconsider where you want to take your art, as long as you are stopping to consider it. One thing that can help it, okay, Deja. One thing that can happen when you are building up color is building up color to the point of creating some type of brown. So the best tip I could give you when it comes to building up color is not to build up complementary colors too much, because that does create a brown look. So I'm actually going to do that right here, right now. I wanted to create a little bit more of that like wall brown color to make it very different from the pillow and the blanket. So I'm using purple, I'm using yellow, and I did use a cream in between to create almost like an ombre between everything. But it didn't exactly come out the way that I wanted to, so I did decide to build up on the color even more. Again, just putting the same values in the same places with just a different hue instead of, you know, the same exact color. So I added some blues, I added some pinks, and if you do look closely, it does look brown in a lot of spaces, but because I know how that brown was created, instead of just being a brown color pencil, I don't know, I find something very beautiful about it. But that's it. I am done here. I absolutely adore all the colors that we used. I've been loving the Woomer color pencils. I am so excited to be hosting my first giveaway of a set of these pencils next week when I show you guys how I color these cozy little guys. So stay tuned, and I'm excited to see you next week. Bye.